I just love everything about jewelry. I think jewelry is something that's very personal. My earliest memories are looking inside of my grandma's cabinet, keepsakes that she had. And one of the things that she had in her cabinet was a crystal barrette that she wore on her wedding day. And I just loved looking at it. So just from my earliest memories, I just always have been drawn. I think I was a magpie in a different life because I've always sort of been drawn to those things that sparkle and shine. I always kind of hoard them also, just like a magpie. I remember sneaking these big, audacious earrings to school, and I would sneak them out of the house because there's no way that my parents would ever allow me to wear earrings like that. So I would sneak them out of the house, and then when I was on the school bus on the way to school, I would put them in. And then I would, on the way home on the school bus, I would take them out and I would hide them and I would, walk into the house as if nothing happened. I would go through magazines and I would cut out designs that I like, and then I would try to figure out how I could fabricate to get something similar with the skills that I had at the time. I started making jewelry for myself, and then I would wear these pieces, and then these pieces, other people would see them out and about, and I would sell them right off of my body. And that's when I started to think, hey, maybe there's a future of turning this into a business. My style is this is not for wallflowers, right? You wear these because you want to make a statement, because you want to be seen. These are confidence pieces. That I've heard a lot of this from my clients as well, that it gives them a sense of confidence when they leave the house. Because fashion, I think, at the end of the day is theater, right? We can sort of be a character that we want by what we put on when we leave the house. And, we can be anything we want. I love working with gemstones. It starts with the stones, it starts with the raw materials, and I sort of get inspiration from that, and that kind of moves my design aesthetic forward. It's definitely a sculptural process of adding and subtracting as I see fit aesthetically as the design sort of evolves. I don't sketch before. I just allow the process to unfold very organically, and I just start. And I just start until I get to a point where I can start to see what the next step needs to be in that particular design. And I really love that process because I feel like it's a dance between myself, the artist, and the materials. And it's like a conversation when I'm designing a piece, a conversation between me and the piece itself. And it's a relationship and it's a journey that we kind of embark on together. And I love sort of the spontaneity of it. And oftentimes, how I may picture it in my head at the start, it completely takes many different turns along the way. And the result is actually much different than what I initially had in my head, but it's a way better version of it. When you start to create designs for yourself, you just start learning how to do things better, right? You learn how to use tools more effectively. You learn the tolerances of different materials just by doing. Just by getting in there. If you have an interest in something and you just start doing it, you start learning from your mistakes. You start experimenting because you want to push your art form forward. And your craft starts to just really evolve and develop sort of on its own through the natural process of you being curious and you wanting to try new things and put different components together. And you get naturally better over time. I think you try a lot of things as a business owner and not everything that you try is a hit. And sometimes times you have really epic fails. You're gonna have a lot of failures along the way, and I think actually it's our failures that teach us the most and actually produce the most success in the long run. My epic failure put my business into bankruptcy. I didn't know if I was ever going to be able to survive that fatal mistake. It was a cruise where you could be a featured designer. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. The expense of the cruise itself to be part of that was huge. I didn't make any sales on that trip. My inventory on the way back got tied up in customs for months. I didn't know if I was gonna get any of it back. I didn't do my research. I put all my eggs in one basket, and I trusted someone else to make huge, huge business decisions on my behalf, those are all bad things that you should always clearly avoid as a business owner. That was a huge lesson for me. Well, that's also why I teach everything myself. If I want to move my business in a certain direction, I learn how to do it before I would ever outsource it. You can't stay stagnant. You have to be constantly evolving, and so does your business and how you approach it. And you have to constantly be learning. I started learning digital marketing about 5 years ago. I started a digital company called Red Pin Geek, which coaches and sells digital products of how to do Pinterest marketing to other jewelry designers, because I learned a lot during that time, and I feel like I have a lot of valuable knowledge that I can share with other jewelry designers that are looking to market their businesses. You need to be ready for how difficult the road is. Art is a luxury, and it's definitely prone very easily to recessions when people are not spending money on luxury products. Sometimes it makes more sense to do what you love to do on the side and have a job that you can rely on to pay the bills, so that the art itself never becomes under such pressure that it needs to perform and that you need to make sales in order for you to survive. If you put too much pressure too early on your art to make a living, it can sort of detract from the joy of it. This is a marathon, because there's gonna be so much that comes up that is gonna make you question whether you should continue. You have to have a passion for it. You really have to either have a passion for the art that you're trying to market, or you have to have a passion for the marketing side of it at all. And if you're lucky, you have a passion for both. I like the fact that the bulk of my business is still one-of-a-kind limited gemstone collections, which means that there's a lot of scarcity wrapped up with my work. And it speaks to a different sort of clientele, people that really look at my work, not so much as a product, but as art. My greatest success has been through collectors who really love my art, who tell me, my art has an ability to be able to change their mood, right? To be able to bring joy through my art to my collectors has been incredibly rewarding. And I think, honestly, at the end of the day, that is the dream of any artist, is to be able to affect other humans in a positive way.